going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of C Blocks Drops.
This is not just another episode.
It is not just another episode. It's a very exciting episode. Possibly, actually, I'll go on record of saying my favorite episode of the year.
Absolutely.
It is the Deadline Special. Joining with you as always, to my left, the owner of Global Gym Purple Cobras, and to my right, the owner of Solanic Sanitation. I am the owner of both sides of the buns. How are we doing?
I'm doing fantastic. It was another wonderful week for the Cobras, sitting at 6-3. We feel really good. Sanitation?
Seen better days. Seen better days.
Also have seen better days. Very, very weird week. Week 9, I think.
Awful week.
Quick math here shows me only 3 teams scored over 100 points.
Yeah.
High of the week coming in at 108.98. Scoring down, yeah, another one for the East.
Congratulations,
First ever, yeah. Round of applause.
Hey,
for
only
Matt.
needed every other team to suck. Great job.
First ever at 108. Congrats, man. I think it's
Is that really his first?
His
like
first
ever?
ever.
Like since we've been recording.
Ever?
yes.
I think this is 3
That
years.
can't be right.
This is 3 years.
Since we've been recording it, yeah, 3 years.
3 out of the 6.
He has never
Didn't
had a
last
high
year
week.
he had like 3 or 4 like crazy blow up games? That were
Someone had a crazy year
No, it was, and in 17, I don't know if we were recording highs of the week or not.
when he led the league in scoring, right?
He might have.
Well,
had a
last
couple
year.
of them.
So last year he led the league in scoring.
Never had a high of the week.
Never had a high
by
week.
5 points.
That's pretty impressive. But yeah, so pretty crazy week. To recap, you lost, I lost, you won as you mentioned. The standings are getting
We
tighter.
lost to the worst team in the league.
Down points on the in the scores, but it was as always very exciting to watch the games and see everything unravel. And
Yeah.
unfold.
That was the perfect word.
We had our 2 teams that were at the bottom of the power rankings last week win games. One which we dissected last week, or actually 2 weeks ago.
I feel like we helped.
Yeah, and we'll get to it. With
Well, I mean, you
because
directly did.
Absolutely. Yeah,
today is the
Son of
deadline
a
special,
bitch.
so we will get to it.
you know what that means.
He did make a ton, possibly the most moves one team has ever made in a week.
Yeah.
In the league.
It has to be.
Yeah,
I
Has
believe
to be.
one
he was
year
aspiring
I made 5 trades, and I think Steve is at 5 trades right now.
in 1 week.
No. Over the
Oh,
course of
he has 5 trades
yeah,
in like a
I
week.
think within the past
That
8 or 9 days.
pretty
Steve's
intense.
made
Well, no,
5
he made the one with Rye kind of early. So, but Steve literally has
I
4.
didn't even remember.
He has 4 trades in like 4 days.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
incredible.
few teams with new, just completely revamped rosters.
It's great to see.
Yeah.
Don't want to see any teams at
Activity.
the bottom checking out. Yeah.
Alex.
Yes. Alexander's averages. Get your ass out of the gutter there.
averages.
Yeah, you know. Get your head out of your ass is what I was trying to say. Not
We
gutters.
got it.
Yeah,
You've been off, man.
I
You've
have
been
been
off.
off.
You've been off.
My team's performance is really bringing me down.
It affects you.
It does, yeah. But we move on. We're going to go into a couple pieces of news here, but we're going to spend most of the time just really talking through the deadline moves that have happened, and then also
Quiet fat.
quiet fab, yes.
Very quiet.
And then also moves that we think could still happen in the future. But let's get into the fab really quickly. Fab Master.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sure, cute.
I
We're gonna get
The
this
Fat
down
Master.
one. We're gonna get this down one.
like the Titans, Jose, $12. That's
Mike mentioned this.
that's the big
the
pickup.
defense or their entire team?
Derrick Henry. This has been kind of a trend this year. I've been going a little high on defense.
This is your fault.
Yeah, I went a little
All
high.
this is your
I would
fault.
say a little high. I think 6 is a little high. I went a little high again this week. But the way I try to construct my roster is to have defense be what I need to spend money on. That's it.
All right.
I
next
mean,
pickup.
yeah, I disagree with that entirely, but yeah, like, listen, defensive spending is out of control. It's fiscally irresponsible. Our fab budgets cannot support this. We're all gonna go broke. And that's
I have no argument.
that's next. Joe picked up Donovan Peoples-Jones for $9. He did it over.
overvalued $9.
He had a big game.
Oh, he
I
had a
get
great
it.
game.
He did.
Nobody bid on him.
No one else bid on.
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
is very
you know,
odd.
at least you didn't spend $23 on Jeremy McNichols.
Yeah, I could have told you.
I'm
He was
assuming
back there.
more was a hot item this week, right? Then I'm assuming people.
No, just me and Matt.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
And honestly, Matt only put like 4, right?
Matt put 8. I put 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, Matt got him.
I would have
Got
put.
that versed.
I would have put. Ready for this? More. If
Oh!
if I didn't have Corey Davis rostered and potentially need to start a receiver this week, and they're playing Buffalo.
Yeah.
So
So, obviously, as we just discussed, Elijah Moore and Matt, $8. More defensive spending. It's like he didn't hear what I just said. Jake spent $6 on the Ravens, which they got a pretty decent matchup this week.
Miami.
Yeah.
Thursday night. I hate Thursday night.
I considered picking them up just to try to block you from picking up a good matchup on defense, but I didn't have the roster space.
Or the money. Let's be honest.
Or the need.
Are you willing to spend $15 on defenses? Because this guy is.
No,
he is. He's crazy.
What did
Look
you
at him.
put on? You didn't put that much on the Ravens, right?
That's 6.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Dude, the guy spent $18 to $22 on the Cowboys off and on. He's a madman. When it comes to defensive
I
spending,
don't need anything else. You gotta spend the money
that's true.
somewhere.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, you can't take it home with you.
T.Y. Hilton back again, like
he's another
like the
we've
genital
had a
ward
wide
that he
receiver
is.
carousel this year.
Charlie, $4. I don't understand what's going on with
We're gonna add him
but
to the mix of the players at the end of the year, and we'll see how much money was spent on these guys. We
I
all
don't
know
think his was super high.
everyone's
I think
favorite.
Matt.
Mooney.
Moody's on a roster, right?
Yeah,
Is he on Brock?
Brock has him, doesn't
I
he?
think Brock did pick him up. Let's take a look. Yep, $3.
Joe, again, desperate for wide receivers. Number 6 pickup is Russell Gage for
Back
$2.
on the squad. Welcome back,
Welcome
Russ.
home. Then our final, only seven waiver wire moves.
We have breaking news.
Tom thought the trade deadline was 3 a.m. tonight.
So you were right.
I get half credit. I got the day wrong, but I knew he was gonna fuck it up.
The reminder was absolutely
I
needed.
knew he
Yeah.
was gonna.
Something tells me he's not the only one. Tom is just the one to admit it. So probably saving.
You know what? Yeah, hats off to Tom.
There was actually no ha-ha or anything. It was actually good look, comma. I thought it was 3 a.m. tonight. Save the Newports, buddy.
Tom definitely had a CMC trade queued up, and he went, all right,
I got the tomorrow.
Well, maybe that's why, because he said before, getting ahead of ourselves, before his and I trade went through today, he was like, oh, well, I'm going to take yesterday to explore some stuff, and he can't get anything better, I'll accept it. So I guess that's what happened. I guess, he thought.
And he's kicking himself right now? Like, should I have 24 more out?
Maybe, yeah. Try to wring some more out of me. But,
he might offer you the trade back.
You gotta add that.
And like, what do you think about JJ from Mike Evans?
well, that's the thing. We agreed on that deal. Funny enough, we agreed on that deal last week. Same deal, and then when he pitched it to me, he tried to get me to add. I was like, why would I add it?
Can't blame it.
Yeah,
Not a bad tactic at all.
It didn't work.
Well, take a shot.
Last pickup, the aforementioned Tom, Jake's boy Le'Veon Bell for a whopping $0.
Good for him.
And
Yeah,
then,
good pickup.
you're just Latavius still dealing with that ankle, right?
Yeah.
Did he practice? I think he practiced.
He practiced limited one of these days this week. I think he was off today, which.
Yeah, I mean, if you're desperate for a bench running back, I don't hate it. Especially, it cost him nothing, but I want nothing to do with the Ravens back.
Tom needs.
You have the only running player on that team that I would want, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson is.
Touche.
Yeah.
And then a couple post-wire moves, I called it the garbage bin moves. That's, the moves after it processes that early that morning. Yeah, that early that morning, Matt switched out the Browns for the Bengals, or the Bengals for the Browns, excuse me. Tom dropped Tyrod Taylor, his boy, for Marquez Callaway.
Hell of a play last week, by the way.
Well, speaking of hell of a plays, Brian came to his senses and dropped Jordan Love and picked up Matt Ryan.
Hell of a play last week, Brian.
How much did he lose by to you?
He only scored like 84 or 85.
Let's take a look.
It's like 20.
Matt Ryan scored 28.
It was.
So would that matter? That's what, like a difference of 17 points, something like
It
that?
very much would have mattered, I'm pretty sure. No.
It's
All right. 17-ish, so he would have gained. It would have been.
Anyway,
more
Brian,
competitive.
I was right. If you need quarterback advice, just text me. Preferably not at 3 a.m.
Or, if you need quarterback advice, my rule of thumb is usually just don't start Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Not.
Well, that's all.
Yeah.
That's always my rule. Jordan Love is never on my team. But yeah, other than that,
Deer in the headlights. That dude couldn't literally snap the ball and just didn't know
And he
what
was
to do.
getting hit.
Yeah.
what was
By
that
the worst defense.
Wasn't one play where you were doing it and it was he was
At one
running
point,
around.
someone grabbed him, he went to spin off him, and he saw another defensive player, and he
His
went,
arms upside. Stop!
Yeah.
oh, we should have clipped it.
Well, yeah. I'll see if I can find it. But quiet waiver wire.
It's because there's more moves going on elsewhere, which we will get to.
Absolutely.
But first, before we get to the Ultimate Deadline Special, we have two segments that everyone loves and enjoys at home. Let's hit it off with the Ben Simmons Loser of the Week award. And I'm so happy that
Yeah, I saved
on
you.
a week
welcome.
where I should very much be receiving this award, you happen to have a worse loss than I did. So
I have lost to the worst
5
team in the league twice. He has 2 wins. They're both against me. He makes garbage trades to make his team worse.
Yeah.
Listen, this guy is playing World of Warcraft, not looking at his roster, and he beat me. He somehow beat me. I am beside myself with rage this week.
I'll tell you what, Jose had a few players step up this week, mainly Jalen Waddle and Damian Harris.
He scored 84 points. No one stepped up for him.
It was enough.
His best player of the week, he benched.
As my commissioner would say, it was enough to win the game.
This guy left James Conner on the bench. And I still lost.
37.
Unbelievable.
37.8 points for James Conner on the bench.
Immediately jumped into the RB1 with Edmonds getting hurt.
18 points.
Is Jose back?
Jose, he's not. I don't think he's back, but I think Jose has saved himself from being bored bitch.
Oh, who's that going to be?
Oh, at my brother, 100%. It's him or
it can't be Steve.
maybe
I don't
Steve.
think it's going to be Steve.
Well, somebody in the East is
Steve's
going to have to
a couple
lose.
people at the end
Somebody
of the year.
in the East has to lose.
James Conner outscored Jose's quarterback, RB1, RB2, wide receiver 1, and tight end.
And still managed to be.
Mine too. Mine too.
Yeah,
mine too. Well, maybe not my RB1. Najee had a decent game, but.
Cool. Well, congrats on your. Was that your 3rd time winning this?
We have to go back and we should before the end of the year.
It is what we call the Australian hat trick.
But I do think you lead the way.
I am mentally unready. I'm still unwell. My back kind of is bothering me.
If you still want,
you know what? I don't even like this table. I don't want to be at this table.
Well, if you do miss the show,
give me more money. I need more money.
You actually have to see our doctors.
Yes. And we need your medical reports.
Yes.
You can't deny us from getting your medical reports.
No source. Just trust me.
Yeah, we're not doing
that's not acceptable.
Well, listen, just guys, I'm good for it. Just take my word. I'm going to release an awesome video of me mock drafting.
And I think you mentioned this was supposed to be the time when you started putting wins together.
This was my time to make up ground on Joe.
Big game next week.
Brock.
And then you have B-Block this week.
Like this was
the newly formed B-Block's finals.
This was I had Jose, who was the worst team in the league. Steve, who was the other worst team in the league, and both of these guys, immediately, 15 minutes before they play me, get brand new teams. It's crazy. Crazy.
Well, let's see who is now ranked the worst team in the league. So we're going to transition over to
the always favorite
Commissioner's Power Rankings. We'll kick it off with number 1. We're going to go top down again. So last week we went bottom up. This week top down. Let's keep everyone on their toes. Number 1. We're going to go with the man to my left, Jake. 3rd straight week. Ever since taking over Tom, you are holding on to that number 1 spot. Coming in at number 2, have Matt sitting at 7-2. Just keeps putting wins together, man. No matter what you say. I know.
Is Matt the number 2 team in the league?
No.
Is Matt the number 1 team in the league?
Absolutely not. No.
Does a lie detector test determine that's a lie?
That's a little teaser, but yes.
Guys putting wins together.
To quote Maury, he ho. He ho.
He is ho.
Number 3, Brock.
Ooh.
The Brock football team.
The most disrespected man.
Talk about putting wins together. This guy.
He is the sneakiest bastard in the league.
He is secretly here on a 5-game winning streak.
Is he really?
Yeah, longest winning streak of the year. 5 games straight for Brock. Puts him in first place. He's 7-2. If I'm not mistaken, he went on one of these last year as well. Like every year, Brock puts together like a 4 to 5 game winning streak.
Or was it his run? Because he had a
it
run.
Might have been his run,
championship run a couple of years ago.
Could be scary.
Yeah,
up for
2019. It was him versus Bry.
Yeah. Speaking of Bry, number 4 is Tom. Tom's roster is still CMC's back healthy. Hopefully back healthy. I mean, he's saw a lot of snaps last week, so I can only imagine they're going to continue to increase. Darrell Henderson needs to stay on the field. He's been getting dinged up, and Sony Michel's been relieving him quite a bit. But with them 2 healthy, Tom has a pretty good team. Just picked up Mike Evans, so I know Godwin is foreshadowing a little bit. Godwin is down with an injury, so we'll see. Number 5, I put myself pretty shitty week last week, but still think. I mean, to be honest with you, slim pickings, man. We had all these teams scoring 75 points. I scored 88.
Once you get out of
that's on the high side, yeah.
Once you get out of the top 1, it's like a crapshoot after that.
Dropping from 3 to 6. Loser of the week, Mike coming in number 6. And right behind him at number 7 with the same record. Ooh. Tied for the last spot in the playoffs is Foster. Moving down to number 8, we have Char's team. I can't get my finger on the team, man. Every time I think he's going to go on a run, he puts up a 70-point dud.
Yeah, and he falls
disappointing.
Back
Very disappointing. Yeah. Like, this was the week.
This was a big week for him and
This
Bri.
was a week.
Him and Bri could have made up some ground on, especially with Tom, but Bri's win would have put him against me.
It's like neither one of them won. No, you do it. No, you do it. Like, you know.
Well, Brian is coming in at number 9 here, right outside that bottom 3. Moving up.
The big 3.
Moving up from 12 to 10. Steve. No longer at the bottom.
All right,
he's in prime position here to make a nice little run.
Wheeling and dealing.
I have to commend him on all the moves he's made, man. He easily could have checked out. Maybe even just keep starting his lineup and hope for a high of the week. Guy is trying to make a push.
He's trying to win.
He's doing his best he can.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
It's 2 weeks too late, but you know.
I think it was more like 4 or 5, but
big win over Joe's Gymnasium too.
But with Joe's losing, he's 2 games back, and it's. I mean, we only what do we have 5 left? We got 5 weeks.
He plays Tom in the final week of the season.
We could be playing.
If only.
This could get very interesting.
Very interesting.
The guy who thought he had the clear bye, all
Yep.
of a sudden might be playing the guy who we've been shitting on all year.
You fly too close to the sun.
Get burnt. Coming in at number 11, Jose. Big win. Big win over you this week. And at number 12, taking over the 12 spot for the first time this year, I believe. He's been hanging around there, but Alex.
All right.
Alexander's greats are number 12 in the power rankings. Just haven't seen the initiative to try to better his team as we hope to see. But who knows? There's some time left, 31 hours before the deadline. Alex can maybe wheel and deal and try to sneak into that 3rd spot. He's only 2 games back.
If I'm him, I'm trying to move Hopkins.
He's only 2 games back.
A wide receiver would be ideal to get a running back for him.
If you happen to watch this show, Alex, I do need a receiver.
You do have offers sitting.
And I don't even want Diggs. I would love Diggs, but I don't need your top guy. But yeah, that's the Commissioner's Power Rankings, so congrats on another number 1 spot.
Appreciate it.
Anything you want to add on the team before we jump into our deadline special?
No, just what I said earlier, Matt, is Matt's been steadily sitting around 2 or 3, and I think a lot of people in the league's opinion on that would be a little different.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. The guy's putting together wins.
7-2. 7-2 is he'll be the first one to let you know.
Quote unquote.
7-2. All right. For our deadline special, we have our trade deadline coming up tomorrow. Not tomorrow. 11/12. Technically tomorrow, like 3 a.m. on Friday. And we've already had a ton of bangers go through. This is probably the most active.
Since Saturday, it's been an absolute.
The door opened like Thursday or Friday with that little trade with Hines for whoever the hell I traded. Ty Johnson. That was like, oh, okay. There was a move made.
What's going on?
And then everybody woke up Saturday, and I'm trying to get the text out there to have this thing reported.
No, you started off on Saturday. I don't think the Ty Johnson thing.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, let's get into what deals we've seen since we last talked to the
people. Do we want to split up in the Saturday this week? All right, so
let's talk about last week's first.
Saturday, Jake absolutely mugged Jose. Saquon Barkley and Chris Carson for Damian Harris, Jalen Waddle, and Christian Kirk. Who I think you picked Christian Kirk up 15 minutes before for $2.
So my thoughts on the trade, obviously.
Do you think he did good?
Can't wait to hear the notes on this one.
What are his notes on the trade he made?
He must have something in the works with Jose again.
Give yourself a letter score, and then give Jose a letter score.
Two guys who haven't played. Right, and the guy's been getting 0 points from them. And like I said to Jose right before we made the trade, actually it was after we made the trade, I just added almost 30 to 40 points to your lineup, and that's what you need right now.
Like, you're a trade rapist.
I get it was lopsided, but it was what he needed, and he wasn't going to get it anywhere else, and he had to make a move.
I disagree with that statement because, as Joe will attest to as well, he put out a last minute. What time did this go through? 8:30 in the morning.
Earlier than that, I got a text at like 7:45 in the morning.
So yeah, like 7:30 in the morning on a Saturday. That's the weekend for those of you around the world.
In the fucking living room.
Yeah.
Going to
Jose had all day to accept. This is a Saturday. There's no games that day.
Yeah.
He had all day to shop around.
We had mutual respect between each other.
Do you? Because he thinks Steve's the best owner in the East. Don't forget that.
Listen, you gotta understand. We're in separate conferences or divisions, whatever you want to call it. So we're in separate divisions, which adds to everything. He doesn't have to worry about these players again. He's never going to see them again. If he does, it'll be the championship, and
So he's never going to see them again.
Yeah, so
you're never going to see them again. All right, so you got to take that into account. It's hard to make a move. I agree, but I mean,
sitting in front of him. I mean, like he, not even that, just the window. Like he arbitrarily gave himself a really tiny window.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you what, the timing was absolutely weird.
I was not awake.
I've been bothering him for 5 weeks now.
I was not awake, and he did ask me what was my offer before I even woke up to respond. He'd already accepted your deal.
Accepted it.
That's my beat. I'm not upset that he took your deal. What I'm upset is that he didn't do any kind of due diligence. I mean, I don't know. Did he ask you?
Last week,
like I said, we've been talking about this for a while. It's not like he just automatically.
Last week, and I think he told you too. Like it came down to you and I.
Yeah.
Last week, Jose, I've been trying to get Saquon for a while as well. Even before the Ridley, he's like, let me settle on the Ridley deal right now. See what else I can get for Saquon. I'll always let you match though, because I do like your deal that you offer for Saquon. So okay.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Little foreshadowing.
His version of letting me match, I guess. I mean, like you said, maybe it is getting him out of the division if he has any chance, but. Was a 7:45 a.m. text on a Saturday. I literally woke up and hit him with the one day I sleep in. I woke up at 8:15 and answered him, and he was already on. He was already on the move. So
it's a 24-hour business, my man.
Yeah. It was a weird timing. I mean, I don't know. I think he could have gotten a little
that
more
magnitude. Yeah, I would have shopped around.
I think Damian Harris was interesting. That he was like, if it was like Cordell Patterson. I would completely understand it. The fact that it was Harris and he's literally been injured every single week this year, coming in and out of games, and you're replacing Saquon coming back in a couple weeks and Carson maybe coming back this week.
I offered another running back.
Yeah, that's what I've said this to you.
The running back would have been Gibson, which is the least of my three.
That's crazy to me that he gave away 2 and he didn't get 2 back.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I think honestly, he probably could have kept Chris Carson if he really wanted. I mean, you wanted Saquon, no?
No, this is what's been sticking, is that I wanted one of the guys on IR. I wanted either Hunt or Carson. Yeah. That's what's been sticking this over. I mean, I think a couple weeks ago we could have got this done when we first originally started talking about this, but I was at first I wanted both of them. This is when they both got hurt at first. I wanted Hunt and Carson added into the deal.
So you wanted all 3 of his running backs?
I wanted all 3 of them. Because he had no use for them, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have any use. Like, by the time they come back, you're done, bro. Like, you have nothing left.
He does not have a running back to start if Zach Moss misses this week.
Hit me up.
And Harris. He has 2 running backs with head injuries, and his bench right now for running backs is Tony Jones Jr.
Which is why
I got Chris Carson.
Given the scarcity of the position, and like Jose knows better. Like I mean,
you got a guy with a neck injury. You don't know when he was.
True, but you can't give up 2 and then not get 2.
I don't disagree with you. That's why I said I offered 2, thinking that would be what he accepts. My next text was, or if you want Harris and 2 of the receivers. And then he texted me the next morning saying, I want the receivers.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Nobody's saying you didn't make the right move, man.
I'm not saying I didn't make the I'm just telling you.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
No, let's do this. Let's do it real quick. So since you were involved in the trade, give yourself a grade, and then give Jose a grade. And then
I mean, I would say B+.
For you?
B+, B+ with a potential to be obviously an A+ if I
for
can,
you.
I can I can get Barkley at Barkley and Carson at Carson. But the thing we were talking about it off air is it puts me in a predicament. Like if I don't move one of these running backs and then say Gibson starts playing better, I have 5 running backs, right? And I have 1 that I'm plugging in.
I don't think that goes into the trade value though, because you still.
It could hurt me. I mean,
right, but that's not the trade value.
The risk of it hurting you is that Carson doesn't play another down a football.
Barkley don't play another. If I can get one of them, I love this trade. I basically traded them 3 players for one of the running backs.
Well, you're going to get Saquon.
But can he stay
isn't going to keep.
So to answer your question, I would say B+ with the potential to be an A+ if I had to get Jose in the situation that he was in, I would say a B-.
What now? Compare
D.
For Jose, D.
D.
Yeah, I would honestly go with like a C- for Jose, and for you, I think it's a B+. I think that's a good grade actually. B+.
Yeah, I think for his situation, I thought Jose made. And it helped him this week. I think 2 of them, I don't know if Waddle scored a touchdown, but he scored 12. Harris scored a touchdown. Kirk was throwing the ball up around. You know what I mean? Like, it helped him. And like I said to him, I added so many points to your lineup, which is what he would need at the time.
He tripped into another running back from our trade before, James Conner, now Edmonds down. could be a big play this week. But let's go into the next trade
it's
that
a
we
must
had.
start,
Yeah.
It was you. You had a huge blockbuster trade. Might even be bigger than Jake's with Steve. Take note of that name. You're going to be hearing it a lot. So you acquired Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison, and Keenan Allen for Joe Mixon, Julio Jones, and Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah.
More. I wrote more.
I did, yeah.
Saved myself at the end there.
This has been ongoing for a long time. Steve and I talking Dalvin Cook. Joe Mixon was really the big deal or the big name in the deal, yeah. Earlier in the year, we were trying to do like an Elijah Mitchell, Julio, and someone else for Cook. Then we were talking about Mixon and maybe no Elijah Mitchell. The thing that got it done really was getting Keenan Allen back with the receiver issues that I was dealing with. So I was able to upgrade Julio, let Steve get 2 pieces that he needed as far as like starting running backs. He didn't just have to rely on only Dalvin Cook. And what I thought was upgrading my running back, but turns out maybe Mixon was the play
this
the whole
was
time.
this was prior to the accusations by Dalvin Cook's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which is an ongoing case. We won't speak on that.
Yes.
Allegedly.
But if anyone wants to have any mental issues, just get traded to my team, and it's all good.
I think it's funny, given just like you've been roasting Steve every week about this trade, and then he finally just gave in.
Funny, really quick story on how this went down. We actually didn't talk at all last week, the week that it happened, about the trade. I had been, because I was obviously slandering Steve, which, by the way, I want to go on record.
Campaign of serial harassment.
I want to go on record that I will no longer, I do deeply apologize. We got to evacuate.
The house is burning down. That's it.
It actually, mentioning Steve's name on the show because of all the slander that I've been giving him over the past couple weeks set the alarm off. But I just want to go on record.
Steve alarm.
That's the lie detector. Determining that was a lie.
It's all part of the game, of course. Okay. No, mutual respect between both franchises. Everything is good. We talked about it, cleared the air. It's great sportsmanship to get the deal done.
And then he gave you Dalvin Cook.
So just wanted to say,
Colby Covington and Kamara Usman are friends too.
We appreciate all the support from the league and
building
up this rivalry over the past couple weeks. But everything is good now. You will hear no more negativity towards Steve's franchise from me for the rest of the year. We are on good terms.
Well, I'll take care of that. Steve, you're a little worm, you little fucking weasel. You're a loser, you stink, and you're going to have to shave your beard.
Well, let's not go to that. Steve, I think you're doing great, buddy.
No bullying, man.
No,
Steve actually...
As far as the trade goes...
Yes, really quick, I just want to let you know how it went down. I've been sending Steve like random messages all throughout the week. I'll just send them like Julio for this person, or this, without even texting them. Just out of like straight disrespect, trying to get them going.
With all the respect that you guys have.
Yeah, but now we're good.
Oh, yeah, they're best friends now. Didn't you just
now that the trade went
So, on Saturday night, while watching the UFC, I actually sent him this trade. And about 5 minutes later, I texted him and I said, hey, I might have just sent you another trade. His response was, hey, I might have accepted. Looked on the app, and that's how the trade went down.
Joe was leaving out the part where he screamed, woo in my face, and then did a lap around the table going,
it wasn't
Dalvin Cook, Mike!
Yeah, it wasn't so much me celebrating Dalvin Cook, it was celebrating the peace treaty between the two franchises.
Of course.
Yeah, that's
both sides of the
line. Which is first and foremost.
Yes.
You always want to be friends with everybody. Anyway, back to the actual trade. I think it was good on both parts. Without having hindsight, knowing what Steve was going to do next, just based on this trade, I thought it helped both parties. Steve needed the running backs. He was able to get rid of Keenan Allen, who is a name. Not having the greatest year for Keenan Allen, but he's been coming on. He's been coming on.
He's a wide receiver, low 30s?
You told me Kadarius Toney was doing pretty good at one point. So
he was.
You have a little bit of bias when it comes to
Keenan Allen has a better track record.
So what I'm saying is Keenan Allen is starting to have a better year.
He's a wide receiver too right now, Keenan Allen. And he's been through his bye.
He's the wide receiver too.
No, he's a wide receiver.
Okay. I said he's having a good year.
I would rather have Keenan Allen than Julio Jones.
Right. I'm saying he's having a good year. But he's a guy who's starting to turn it around a little bit.
13 targets.
And then you were able to get Cook with the handcuff.
Mike Williams dealing with a knee injury, so
yes.
You did the 2-for-1, which is it's suitable. Joe Mixon and the pickup Elijah Mitchell for Dalvin Cook basically, and then you were able to upgrade your wide receiver. I like it on both. I like it on both parts.
I understand why Steve did it. I don't think Julio, he's ever going to really do anything for him. I think we're seeing the beginning of the end of Julio Jones.
Yeah, this was more for what we talked about with the running backs.
Yeah. I mean, Joe gets Dalvin Cook, Keenan Allen, who's better than any receiver Joe has on his team, let's be honest. Joe has had receiver issues all year. Yeah. And, I mean, this finally gives him someone that's actually going to play.
Fuck you, Allen Robinson.
But getting 2 starters back in a trade is always a positive thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, Steve did what he had to do.
I would say Joe won the trade based off.
Yeah, I agree. Joe gets an A.
Based off Dalvin Cook, basically, obviously, I think Joe. I would say B+, and I would give Steve a B on that one. I think he made a nice move.
Yeah, I think B's a reasonable score for Steve. He did what he had to do, and a little bit of his later on, he made several other moves that so he's not relying.
Again,
exclusively on Julio.
Without having hindsight, just based on this one.
I mean, B's a reasonable one. Joe, I think I give Joe an A. I mean, this is prior to anything coming out with Dalvin Cook, and even still, he also acquired Madison in the deal, which that's insurance. Perfect, yeah. So I mean, and Madison actually had, I believe, 2 really good games.
Very good games
this year when Cook was out. So
actually better than Cook. Also, if Justin Jefferson can throw a block, we are talking about a 20.
Best blocker in the league.
Cook, yeah. Cool.
That wrapped up our blockbuster Saturday. That was like a little one-upmanship. Like everybody saw what you did. You set the tempo, and Joe was like, "Oh yeah."
So yeah, the weekend was. Can we say the weekend was the bigger names?
No, I guess not. We had some really big names.
I can say that.
Yeah, I think the weekend did have the bigger names overall.
3 of the top 5 players drafted have been moved.
There was one trade that I think has another name that's on that level, and that was actually a huge trade. Yeah. But then
player-wise,
yeah.
Well, let's get into the first trade of this week.
The trades from Tuesday to today. Yeah. So that guy Steve again, back at it.
Steve is, although we are at a peace treaty, I just want to make that clear. He is.
That took 10 minutes. It took 4 minutes for you to start talking shit.
Yeah, he is causing me to develop carpal tunnel because sending out all these messages back to back, it's starting to get a little rough on the finger.
He does not want to shave his beard. Let's be honest. For those that don't know, me and Steve made a beard bet because Matt's a bitch. Prior to the season, he saw Judgment Day was fast approaching. So honestly, you know what? You're welcome, and everyone else that traded him, you're welcome because he's terrified of having to shave because he'll look just like a penis. So I'm taking credit for all these trades. Yeah. But he's been on a tear. He's a maniac.
What was his trade?
On Tuesday, his second trade was he traded David Montgomery and Emmanuel Sanders to Matt for Melvin Gordon and DJ Moore. Which
I like it from both sides. I think I probably side with. I'm so happy if I'm the DJ Moore owner that Sam Darnold is not playing quarterback for them for 4 weeks.
Yeah, PJ Walker though.
I would rather take PJ Walker.
It can't be any worse, right?
Sam Darnold looked terrified. I don't know if it was he saw Bill Belichick on the sideline again and remembered the old days, but he threw there was actually a point in time, I think it was 5 straight minutes, where Jake and I would look at the Carolina game and just be like, yo, check this out. Yeah. And Darnold would just throw another pick. It was maybe 3 picks in 5 minutes.
A lot of picks getting thrown around this weekend, by the way. There's some crazy-ass throws.
Which
thanks,
it
Matt
shows
Stafford.
in the fantasy points scored. But I think it's a great trade for both teams.
I think this is another case Steve had to make it. He needs to win. David Montgomery's on bye. Yep. He cannot. Steve's playing week to week.
Yep. Great trade.
I love the trade for Steve. I hate it for Matt. I think Matt gave away the 14th ranked running back. Again, I don't think they've had their bye yet.
They have not.
They've not had their bye. So that's number skewed a little bit. And DJ Moore's the 13th ranked wide receiver. Again, I don't know if they've had their bye yet or not.
They have not either. They have it week 13. It's one of the later weeks. I remember.
But you're giving it up for right now the wide receiver. He's at 30. Maybe we can call him 26.
I think he was doing very, very well. I think that goose egg from the previous week.
And then you picked up a running back who's good, but he's coming off an injury on a team with a rookie quarterback, so defenses are more likely to stack the box. And he had the rookie running back play well behind him. I know he got a lot of snaps the other night and played pretty good, but he only scored 9 points. So unless Dave Montgomery's getting into the end zone, I don't foresee him really being a running back too.
Yeah.
And with the way the team's going, if they fall out of playoff contention, I can see them maybe leaning towards the younger guys. And not that Dave Montgomery would lose playing, but his playing time will be cut into And Matt can't really afford that when you're relying on a running back to get a touchdown to elevate him.
My one thing is David Montgomery, once again, last year we saw it, has a fantastic schedule to close out
I disagree with Jake.
Yeah, he has a fantastic schedule. However, I do agree to a sense that I am a little worried about Montgomery because the Chicago Bears stink.
Matt Nagy
That's my
stinks,
point.
They are awful.
That's a 9 in the box type of offense. You just throw a 9 in the box.
Fields had a decent second half against the Steelers.
Yeah, but I don't think that changes things. You know what I mean?
I think a little bit with his mobility. I think David Montgomery is the most important piece in the deal, especially given what's going on with. I mean, at the time, they didn't know about what's fractured in Sam Darnold's shoulder, his scapula or something like that. He's got a fractured scapula or something. His spatula, yeah. So, I mean, from Matt's point of view, he's looking at DJ Moore having to deal with this dude as his quarterback. And it's like... And then Melvin Gordon is... Like, he's getting the touchdowns right now, but he is in a timeshare with Javonte.
I think P.J. Walker might be better for the offense.
No, he can't be worse. He can't be worse. He cannot be worse. But given what Matt knew at the time, I think I give Matt the slight edge in this. Not that it's a bad trade for Steve, because Steve can't afford to take a bye. He needs to win every game.
Yeah.
Just to stay out of last place, but to make a playoff push. Because you pointed out earlier, he's only 2 games back right now with 5 to go.
I'd give Steve the edge here as well with Jake. I think I go Steve here, a B.
Yeah, that's what I just wrote down.
And I probably go Matt, maybe like a C+.
Yeah, see, I flip-flop them for me. I give Steve a C+, Matt a B.
I just think
I think David Montgomery will come back and be a top 12.
You think Melvin Gordon's going anywhere, though?
I mean, can't.
Because, he had 21 carries this week.
He did, but, again, Javonte's there, and at some point, they're not that great of a football team. Going into what, you want to see what the young man's got. Melvin's not coming back next year. He will not be a Denver Bronco next year.
No.
I would be more afraid of Javonte Williams eating into Melvin Gordon's share than I would be of Khalil Herbert eating into David Montgomery's.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
That's fair enough.
That's
more of an opinion.
That's why I'm on the show. Different worldview.
What's the next? I just didn't want to spell.
Steve is back again.
Samaje Perine, Carlos Hyde. Moving on.
They traded backups, and Foster no longer has that running.
Actually, yeah. Let's talk.
Spoiler
so
alert.
really quickly, Foster.
Let's get into the other one, and then we.
Well, I was gonna say Foster obtained Carlos Hyde for Samaje Perine. Steve picked up his handcuff. Foster at the time had James Robinson on his roster, so he's picking up his handcuff as well. Now, if we go into the next trade here.
Yeah, so Foster trades Bry. This is the biggest trade, I think.
This is a
in quantity of players
and quality.
You guys are both very close. I think you guys both have better players overall, assuming Saquon is Saquon. But if you throw in their tight ends, this is a big boy trade. This is a heavyweight trade. So Foster traded the recently returned George Kittle, who had a touchdown, DK Metcalf and James Robinson to Darren Waller to Bry for Darren Waller, Alvin Kamara, and J.D. McKissick.
Finally moved.
Yeah, running back too. J.D.
Bry really likes him. Bry really likes J.D. McKissick.
Yeah. I think Brian did not want to put up with potentially Kamara being injured.
Yeah.
And
so
he's another
Robinson.
He is another one. Given how the East is, he's also in a bad spot.
Yep. He did picking up Metcalf. I think is going to be huge. That is a good deal. I think Bry's team now is led by Robinson and Fournette. Murray's hurt. We'll see what happens with Kittle if he continues to perform like he can. A.J. Brown's on and off the injury report. But new team. He hasn't been able to really put wins together with his old team. So.
Yeah, but it's probably the first one to let you know he's scoring points. He's just getting outscored because the East is crazy.
Yeah, good point, but
he gave away a lot to get a lot. Right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, but he's taking a shot here. We touched on the Kamara injury a little bit, but you got Robinson coming off an injury, Kittle coming off an injury. At what point do they come back? You know what I mean? Does that haunt them? So I think if I had to. On the surface, I would say I think Bry won the trade.
I agree,
but this could easily flip flop.
Yeah.
This could easily flip flop.
It depends. Like you said, it depends on Kamara's health.
Yep.
And then I think another thing that factored into it. I think Bry's nervous about Taysom Hill maybe getting that job over Simeon, And I mean, we saw last year. We talked about it, I think last week on the show. That they were not in sync at all, and Kamara took a major hit when he was in over Drew Brees.
I think we're all. I'm also in agreement. I think Brian edged it out. I think it was a very close trade. I think I give it to Brian for maybe by one grade. Whether it's
I would much rather have.
I would say
the
B
third,
and a B minus maybe.
B plus and B.
I think B minus B. I don't know.
I think I'd rather have James Robinson than J.D. McKissick, who I really liked. I'm sure it was very hard. Yeah,
it's true. It left Foster in that predicament still, and even with Kamara,
I think DK makes up the difference.
I mean, if Kamara gets hurt,
guy's a beast.
That could really hurt him. But
Russ is back.
Yeah, and it leaves Foster in that position where now you have Kamara, but you still need a second running back.
I don't think Foster really solved any of his problems with this trade.
I was just about to say that. Do you think so? Kittle and Waller, Kittle at his peak, Waller at his peak. Barring them not getting injured, a wash, right?
Yeah. I think this is fine.
So it's really what I'm getting at. It's really Metcalf and Robinson.
They can't
for Kamara and
McKissick. It's fine. They can't see.
So I think Kittle and Waller are fine. I mean, that could be a straight up trade if if you like the player or whatever. And then basically it's Metcalf and Robinson for Kamara.
Yes,
that's what I look at.
Sure, he's there.
When's he playing?
At
this point in the year, is he
McKissick
playing?
is a flexible player, I think.
I'm not.
I guess it depends on Robin.
I mean, maybe
what's his name?
It depends on your roster, but I'm not.
You know what? The more we talk about it, I think Brian actually is a full letter grade above this.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'm sticking with my
Foster's in the same predicament that he was in when he walked into this trade.
Yeah.
If not, maybe even worse, because if Alvin Kamara
with a better tight end
is hurt,
personally, I think better.
Yeah, but again, they're close enough to where
it's coin flip. It's whoever you like.
I think Foster could have probably packaged some receivers
Waller's
together.
Get more volume. Kittle, I think,
get a
touchdown upside. Yeah.
He still has an abundance of receivers.
Big name trade, but again, like we just talked about.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's hard to grade. That's one of the ones we got to see at the end of the year once it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, we could be way off base and
I would go
McKissick could go
C plus, B for Bryce, C plus for.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my B and B minus.
I'll go B plus for Brian, B for Foster, just because I think he's desperate to. Maybe you guys might have talked me into B minus on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Bry won.
Yeah, hands down.
Shout out, Bry. I expect if you're gonna text me when you don't like what I say, you better text me when you like what I say. All right. Good job, buddy. And then the last trade of today, me and Tom. The trade that's been in the works for
this one got
2 weeks.
Swept under the rug. It was also pretty big trade.
We called it in the exact same time
that was very
announced it.
Yeah.
Tom traded me Justin Jefferson for Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Tom,
makes sense.
Yeah, Tom wanted the stack. I wanted a little more
two
consistency.
Vikings receivers off his team. And now has. Yeah, I like it all around actually.
Yeah,
I like it for both teams. I like it a little bit more for you, simply for the fact that he was going to move one of these guys, and to me, he got rid of the better one, which helps for me. And I know he's like the wide receiver 8, and he's having a pretty good year. Mike Evans kind of has a little bit of a disappearing act sometimes.
Yeah, against guys like Bradbury.
He had
Lattimore.
3 big games, and then in between them, he had like your 11s, which isn't bad, but it's not.
Well, here's my thought process when I was looking at my team. Like Mike Evans, he's got big touchdown upside, but again, Antonio's out, Gronk's out. Eventually, those guys are coming back. You have Chris Godwin, which the news broke today.
That was after
30 seconds after I hit accept that Godwin was dealing with a foot
injury. Would that have impacted you hitting accept?
It may have.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have probably tried to see what the deal was. At that point, I didn't even look.
The thing is, it was already done. It's not like one of them things where you're like,
it was already
one
done.
More week because we don't have one more week.
Yeah, exactly. I have Amari Cooper, who I already view as pretty much a touchdown or bust kind of receiver, especially with how many guys they have.
Yeah.
I look at the Bucs as a similar situation where they're full complement, and I think I talk about it all the time. Jefferson doesn't have the touchdown upside because it's pretty clear that when they get down there, he's looking for Thielen, but Jefferson, he out targets. He has a higher target percentage share on the Vikings than Evans does on the Buccaneers, and he averages more receptions. So I traded a little bit of upside for consistency, which apparently my team very much needs because I'm every other week I'm either in the 1-teens to 120s or I'm struggling to break 100.
2 things: 4 targets, 5 targets last 2 weeks for Justin Jefferson. Does it worry you?
No.
No.
Also, Dalvin Cook potentially going away doesn't really scare me too. Oh well, I think kind of helps me.
Yeah.
If that were to happen.
And then Mike Evans. I don't know if this played into your trade at all, but the final week of the season, and then through playoffs. Buffalo, who's number 1 against the receiver. New Orleans, who we know what happens when
yeah.
Lattimore.
And I saw going into that, I was like, Marshawn Lattimore again. I was like, I don't like that.
Carolina and the Jets, who have been surprisingly pretty good against the receiver, most likely because everyone can just run on them and they don't throw the ball.
Yeah, that's honestly, yeah. The Jets, I looked at the Jets.
That's a game you want to stay away from, though. Because that'd be a game where the Bucs kind of have everything not wrapped up, but they're there.
And that would be championship game.
Yeah,
and that's a sit down. Like, let's pull it back a little bit.
Looking at that, yeah, I thought the Jets were a pretty good matchup, but yeah, like you said, the Bucs they're gonna win the NFC South. Like,
and that's what I mean. Like, this could be one of them. Maybe they have the 2-week advantage where they could not sit their guys week 17, but pull their guys.
I think over the long haul, Jefferson will offer me more consistency.
Well, I say it about the Tampa Bay receivers all the time. They're all good. They're all really good, but I just don't want to have that problem of, is this going to be his week?
I think when Gronk returns, like Mike Evans' touchdowns are going to take a hit.
Yeah, I thought it was a good move for you. Just because I think it was a better move for you, this is going to be another one where I do a B and a B minus. I think Mike got the B.
I think we both get Bs personally.
And I would say I like a little bit more on your.
I like the B across the board.
Yeah, because Tom on his side, he gets the stack. He has
and gets that Viking. He's no longer starting Thielen and Jefferson each week.
Yeah,
his points will go up.
Yeah, he did what I guess he needed to do.
Yep,
I would say.
I had to drag him kicking and screaming to do it, but eventually he agreed to it.
That concludes our trades that we've had go down over the past week here since we last talked to you all. Let's get into
6 trades. That's a ton.
6 trades.
That's got to be a record.
There's been more too, like over the last week and a half. There's probably around 8 in total.
Yeah.
Let's
whoever took the over, it hit.
Yeah, true. We did do it over under. We have a last segment here. We just want to talk about a few players that we think may be traded, or maybe even if you want to talk about a team that should be looking to make a move. I can kick it off if you'd like. We were talking about this off air, but I personally think that Gibson and or Chris Carson for Jake are going to be on the move. He just has way too many running backs right now. Now I know everyone's saying
what do I take back?
No such thing.
Like if you were in if that was you, what would you be able to take back?
I'm just trying to.
You're not gonna. Yeah, it'll be a little difficult for you to upgrade tight end, but I guess
he mentioned that. Yeah, he mentioned.
I mean, yeah, you could probably go out.
Is it worth the running backs on tight end? I mean, I guess because I have so many.
Well, see, it depends. Like, I guess. See, your best trading partner for that would be Kelsey, and that's Matt. And who,
we're right there.
You have Mahomes, yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Matt's a pain in the ass to deal with.
I'm honestly surprised you weren't able to. Foster was looking for a running back. He obviously was okay with moving Kittle. Maybe like a Gibson and Pitts for Kittle type deal.
We never spoke about that.
See, that's something that I think.
I'm cool. I like my tight end.
Yeah, I know he's big on Pitts. Yeah, honestly, how secure are you in Debo's calf? Really? I mean, that's the.
Another thing is if you do Gibson and Pitts for Kittle, maybe you can have him throw in like a Higgins or a Devontae Smith, and you get that receiver backup as well.
Yeah.
But
he would be an ideal trade partner.
Yeah.
As usual. I mean, me and Foster.
Hawkinson is available.
Excuse me. We have talked all year long, and he has been a ideal trade partner. I guess. Yeah. He needs the running back. So I think that would.
I don't understand how his team just keeps getting where he keeps getting these players to trade. Like, I feel like when I looked at Foster's team, 4 weeks ago, I was like, this guy doesn't have anything.
I made one trade this year, and I'm like, shit, I don't have anything else to give people. This dude's making deals every fucking week.
Keeps up. Oh, hey, what's that behind your ear?
But yeah, I agree with you. I am trying to move running back or backs.
Obviously, I think. Well, wait, we didn't even talk about Steve's Deontay Johnson trade, did we?
I was going to ask if that happened before last week.
I don't know if we covered that.
Did it happen before last week?
Who was it?
Did he have
Deontay Johnson for Leonard Fournette?
It did happen.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, we did talk about it.
But I don't think Steve is going to make any more moves. I mean, not this. Well, yeah. I mean,
I don't think Steve.
I think he's rebuilt his team.
Yeah.
And like I said, you got.
Obviously, he doesn't watch, but Alex needs to do something about his second running back spot.
Brock could go for a move, I think.
But Brock should, but I don't think he will. I think
if you could slide Gaskin into your flex and able to maybe move one of them receivers for a running back.
I would, but I think Mike is also counting on Clyde coming back.
Which is a good point.
Which, I mean...
That's a good point.
That leads us to Matt.
Yeah.
Like, Matt's got Chubb and I guess Montgomery now, right?
Yeah, and
does he try and upgrade his flex?
It wouldn't be a bad
idea. I think it's an area he needs to...
Especially if I'm looking around. I'm at the top of the East. I'm looking around and I see Jake making moves. I see Tom making moves. Like, I get a little nervous. Yeah, I might be in first place, but like he knows, like that all he can hide behind is the record. He can't go like you have 200 more points than him. Tom's got to have close to that as well. Yeah. I mean,
man,
I would be a little nervous. I mean, because
what I did was I set myself up for injuries. Like if there was something to happen, I don't think I fall too far. You know what I mean? Like if Saquon came back in a perfect world, both of them come back. Saquon gets hurt.
No, you somehow literally got half of the running backs that were drafted in the first 2 rounds on your team. I don't understand how it happened or when it happened, but it happened. So, I mean, yeah. Like, you're pretty much just playing a waiting game on health, or you're trying to package a couple of these guys together, you know, and then upgrading that wide receiver 2 spot. Because what's Debo on the year right now? Is he a top 12 wide receiver right now?
He had a bad week. He was 4.
Has he fallen a little bit? I mean, like, that's pretty much the only move you can make. I mean, Kupp's the wide receiver 1. You're not moving him.
No, I mean, it depends on, if the perfect deal came along. Ideally, I don't move him or JT unless I get overvalue. You know what I mean?
What do you... JT has a legitimate shot at being the running back one the rest of the way.
You want to hit on one of these guys as a championship type of player, and I feel like I got 2 of them right now that could literally win me a championship. You know what I mean? Like, they're championship type of players.
God, I hope not.
Debo is 4 still, even after that down week.
So, I mean, just comes down to, like, what do you want more? A better wide receiver 3 to cover him in case his calf acts up and he misses time?
Well, I guess that's a little bit.
I think Matt should try and upgrade his flex. I mean, obviously, Joe should probably try and get another wide receiver if possible.
I think everything in the West is wide open. I think everyone.
Of course.
Everyone from 1 through 6 could literally make a move to put themselves in a hell of a better position of either making the playoffs or getting the bye. Like I think Foster's right there. Foster can figure out how to make a move for a running back. Alex has the wide receivers to make a move for a running back.
Yep.
Jose, I know we keep talking about his team.
So other than Joe, but who needs wide receivers? That's what we got to do. We got to put it. Should we try and put together trades for people right now?
Put together a trade for a receiver for me. I would love to hear this.
Well, I don't know I don't have my roster list recording us.
By all means.
Dalvin Cook and Keenan Allen.
Here you go.
He's making you a sales pitch.
For Debo.
Can't wait to hear this.
And Patterson.
Oh, I was waiting for Gibson.
That doesn't do anything for me. Because then I'm right back in the same position I was in.
You got a better wide
receiver. That's a Foster trade right there.
I don't know if I do.
You do.
I wouldn't be surprised if Keenan Allen.
There's a reason he's right now the number 4.
Actually,
Keenan Allen's like the number 24.
Can we do a side bet that Keenan Allen outscores
Debo the rest of the year?
$5?
Yeah, okay.
I think that'll come.
We'll
see. Brandon Ayuk's getting some involvement.
Do we want to put any injury? Because I know Debo's beat up. If one of them gets injured, we splash it. Okay.
Yeah, as long as they play.
Ayuk's starting to get some receptions now. He's getting
want to throw the ball to Debo.
He's getting involved.
He's a big motherfucker.
Well, that's the thing too.
Week 10 through
the Chargers big motherfucker's hurt. Like he's battling a knee injury.
He's always.
Yeah, it's usually his back.
Usually his shoulder.
I thought it was his back.
Back, shoulder, head, shoulder, knees and toes, everything.
But I mean, the 2 teams that probably need, the 3 teams that probably need to make trades the most realistically are probably Charlie, Brian, and Foster. Still, like Foster, I still think is in the same position that he was in. Brian, and probably me for that matter too.
So where on Charlie would you be upgraded?
It's same deal. Charlie's got to turn one of those 2 running backs into a better running back too. He's got to do something. I mean,
would you be
maybe he can. Who is his third wide receiver?
Claypool.
He can't trust Claypool.
Would you be willing to package Carter and Williams for a better running back to move Claypool into your flex? Would that be worth it?
Depends. What's my?
And I don't know I don't know what better running back. Because just a little breaking news: Joe Mixon is off the trade block. If anyone was looking to get him off of Steve, So I don't know what big running back.
I heard Joe was in talks to reacquire.
Reacquire Joe, yeah. I tried to give him Cook straight up for Joe Mixon.
I don't know what names would be out there.
Madison,
I mean,
though.
I think we've heard CMC a couple times. Obviously, I said JT's most likely off the board.
Adrian Peterson's out there.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Cook's been thrown out a little bit, but I don't know if there's any running backs for him to get that would be.
Yeah.
But
That's a fair point. But
I think for Charlie, his area of opportunity may be closed, or
the window.
either closing the window
closed,
or closed, because I personally think with all the running backs he had, he needed to move Chuba or Herbert. Because the only person who wants Herbert is Matt, maybe as a handcuff. You're not going to get much. The only person that wants Chuba is maybe Tom, and I don't know what Tom's giving for him. You're not going to be able to really package them.
You might be able to package Chuba and maybe Michael Carter for Henderson. You don't think? You don't think Tom played on that with Henderson having 2 down weeks?
No. I'd rather have the upside with Henderson on that offense. And he catches the ball. I mean, especially when
he
the goal
keeps getting hurt, and Tom.
But also
Tom, if anybody's gun shy with running back injuries, it should be Tom.
But when I'm looking at my lineup like that, I can't worry about.
But what does that do for Charlie too? Because
I think Henderson's an upgrade over
Carter, but he's just subbing a running back at that point. He's not adding to his flex. He's not because Carter's an every week start for him.
Yeah, I suppose.
So he's really just swapping Carter for Henderson.
Well, he needs to do something because I don't think he's keeping pace with the rest of the East.
Oh, I agree.
And if he doesn't, he's not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing for Foster. If he it's me. If I'm looking at my team and his team, I know I need a running back too.
Oh yeah.
I would not have because I scoring aside, I'm very confident in my core. They're all past their buys.
You have a good team. I mean, you have a
winnable
team.
If I'm Foster, I am absolutely trying to upgrade that running back too, which is why again I wasn't a huge because we said it leaves him in the same predicament. And then obviously all the bottom teams if you're at Jose now should be trying to do anything that they can. Alex should be talking to Joe realistically. He's got wide receivers. Joe needs them.
I'm trying, man. Doing my best over here.
Well, I said before we started recording, I sent him some text messages, so hopefully that'll help.
Did he respond?
I don't know. I put my phone on.
Sugar. Alex, if you responded, text me.
I put my phone. I put my phone on.
My name's Jake.
Plane mode.
215-209-9672.
Should not have done that on the internet.
215-209-9672. Of all 17 people that watch this, you probably all have my number.
Please, if you don't know who any of us are and you just happen to cross us, just start texting them.
Please.
Bunch of crazy shit.
Can we only timestamp Jake's phone number?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm
Timestamp
100% doing that.
Jake's phone number, text him for a good time.
He's going to tell me to cut it as soon as the
Alex,
215-209. But I think all the teams outside of the playoffs need to make a move. I still think can I see Brian's overall roster right now?
Do you want the iPad or
whichever you prefer to not look at?
It's funny. You need to know Brian's roster.
I don't know it by my
I'm pretty good with people's rosters this year and knowing who's where, and then all of a sudden.
So
Edmonds
Edmonds is out for a couple weeks.
that should have been a segment.
Did anyone know Nick Chubb was on that COVID list?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
COVID.
I just saw that.
Dude, every running back except Ernest Johnson is on the COVID list for
I saw Felton too.
And Kareem Hunt is
he's a big fat nothing
currently.
So he's got Fournette, Robinson, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, George. Bry's team feels like it's like a house of cards. Like all of these guys, their injury history terrifies me. James Robinson's battling one. AJ Brown's always banged up. George Kittle is always banged up. His flex right now is Devontae.
8 players with designation.
Right? He's still hanging on to Sterling.
Who's his flex?
Right now it's Devonta Freeman.
I'm saying I know that. I'm saying all things equal. Who's his flex? Who would be
Edmonds or Brown?
Yeah.
Edmonds or Brown. Booker, again, it's a shelf life. Once Saquon comes back, he's not really going to be startable.
Yeah, he's probably droppable.
He's got Logan Thomas.
Might even hit you up for Booker.
I don't want Booker.
No?
No. He doesn't have the room.
Well, no, I'm saying if he can give you a wide receiver and Booker for maybe
Carson
Gibson or something.
I'm not helping anybody, but maybe Gibson. You can take Gibson.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not helping anybody around me really.
That might put a landmine on someone else's team.
Yeah,
I just start Gibson. Don't do it this
Fry's
week.
he's got a team with upside, but it's like very, very dangerous. And like
Actually, you have to do it this week.
Freeman as his flex is kind of.
Unless you want to, we have like a soft deadline. Where
I think our teams are probably like locked because whoever you get for Gibson's probably not going to start.
No, I don't. I'm not. I don't think if I move anybody, I don't think I'm getting a starting piece back.
Yeah.
I'm looking for depth here.
That's what I'm looking for as well. We just have to be playing each other. So,
so that's not going to help.
Yeah.
Either one of us. But no, we gotta. What?
I want to run it back flex. I can't. Like Miles. Come on, man.
Hi.
And like I don't like having wide receivers. Man, that guy.
Hi.
But I mean, yeah. I don't know. Like, there's nothing really.
Hi.
There's nothing really insightful I can provide to like the bottom teams because they. I mean, they're either not home or they've already made their deals. I don't think Jose makes another deal, to be honest. I don't think Steve can.
For being very active this week, I feel like there hasn't been as much traffic in the group chat. Like, everything's so quiet, and I'll just get like a sign. Like,
I think everybody's like, playing it close to the vest,
Yeah.
Well, we're down to what, 30 hours?
Yeah, about that.
Show probably.
Yeah, 30 hours, 20 minutes. I think we can just about wrap the show up then.
So what do you guys think? What do you think's going to happen? Any fireworks?
I am not done. I will say
one or two.
I am not fucking done.
Well, Matt actually gave me a 2. Well, Matt and I were talking, and I think we both set a 2.5 over under for additional trades in final day.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm going to take the under.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like the under. I think it'll be 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
I think it'll be 2.
I'll go over to be different. I think most teams, over 3.
I think most teams are set, and I think we're past the big deals, and I think we're going to be looking at a lot.
Well, you know what? No, give me. I think because I think there will be like some minor deals, like people like trying to acquire backups and shit like that for backups. So 3.
So you're going over.
Yeah, I'm changing my mind.
Is that it for the deadline?
Think so. That's it for the deadline special. We will be catching you guys again on Friday. We'll officially update you on any additional moves that happen before the deadline. We'll do a little Thursday night recap and then talk about the games coming up for this weekend.
Once people's teams are set, we'll do the preview.
Should we wait for Friday to put our picks in?
Yeah, that's what I said.
There's not too many players.
Yeah.
Like, we have players going.
It's really
Foster doesn't even have his roster in.
Yeah. He's going to pick you, so.
Right. But it was fun, man. Deadline special.
Yeah, deadline special. Catch you guys on Friday.
We need a signer.